You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back for another episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. Okay, this is we're just doing it, man. We're just doing it over here. I'm energized. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. It's just been the month of April as we, get into May has just been blessings on blessings. I'm actually feeling a whole lot better. Last week was heavy. It was a Derek Chauvin verdict, of course. It was a lot of stuff going on just in the world, and it's still happening, right? Black lives still matter. Black people are still getting unlawfully killed by the police. There's just still a lot of bullshit in general, but there are promising signs and some funny times too. And I've been teasing you all, and I know some of you all have been bugging me, and not in a bad way, but just, the very much of the what's going on and all this. I put a photo up earlier on my social media, my Instagram earlier this week, that had a very great photo of me with a big, huge, bullhorn with a beautiful background and some stylish shoes. And, I said I had a major announcement, or major announcements were coming, starting now till all throughout May and so forth. And there's a bunch of good news that's coming. And unfortunately, because of the fact that I'm getting things and doing things through things, those things told me I cannot just drop that information out publicly. So I can't say it at this moment. But it's kind of like, well, I'm not having a child, but it's like having a child, I would imagine, or like knowing that you're expecting or knowing that you are about to, get something or whatever. Any of that excitement or thrill, and you're holding it in, and it's like you want people to know, and everyone's looking at you and they see you, kind of having a glow and all this, and you can't speak at the moment because you really want to, see things through. So it's hard because I've been sitting on some things, but really something specifically I have been really, really sitting on for, now 3 weeks, and I haven't really told anyone except my fiance and my mother, and like my soulmate of a best friend who has been with me through thick and thin. So like my closest circle. They are aware, and they're not going to say anything, and they know that they've been sworn to secrecy. But everyone else, I can't say anything, because I can't, and it kills me. It kills me now, But I was like, can I tease? And they were like, you can tease, but be mindful about your tease. And I said, okay. And then, they saw it. It was like, okay, that's cool. And so I was able to tease that much. But there's a series of different things. I can say that much. And they'll be coming out in different levels and layers. But there's clearly one major announcement. And that one I am just from the moon to the stars excited about. But I promise you all that as we get into May, all of this will make sense and everything will be revealed by then. So that's the good thing. What are some other things? So I can stop talking about this. So wedding planning has been going good. We officially have just been, confirming situations, dates, details. I mean, details and dates were already confirmed, but just like some specific details about certain things have been confirmed, and I'm really excited about that. We completely took care of our day of coordinator, which I'm super excited about, and she's about to start getting to work on some of the Summer things we have going on. Our wedding shower has been finalized, which I'm happy about. I kind of did this stuff backwards, but kind of not, where I focus more on the venue and the major event, and then little things like, well, not as major things. I wouldn't say little because this wedding shower is becoming bigger than what I thought it was going to be. But um, the not so major things like the wedding shower and other aspects, we're now starting to finalize that, and that's because we wanted to do the wedding shower in person, which is happening, which is great. The only thing is that I couldn't invite everybody to the wedding shower because of the pandemic, and that was kind of frustrating because I was like, I have about 100 people coming to the wedding, and traditionally you can invite everybody from the shower, but with this, I can only invite half, so I had to really make some tough decisions. Some of it wasn't too tough because some of the individuals are out of state, and so by default, it was just like, you don't got to take like 2 plane trips to come down, even though there's some of my friends are going to be doing that. Some of the wedding party definitely will be coming for the wedding shower and of course the wedding. But as far as like just general guests, that process elimination was not as bad. So, but still, it was just a little tough. But because of the venue that we're going to have the wedding shower at, it's not. It was just no way that we can spatially maintain social distancing in the proper way. And I mean, you could push it because it's going to be in July, but it just made sense to just have 50. So that's what we're going to do. But well, the one thing I like about this wedding being like this journey. I mean, some people get married very fast. One of my friends got proposed to in February, and then they got married in April, early April, and it was a quick, process. It was kind of quick. And so there wasn't a wedding shower or engagement party to my knowing. I just think they just was like, look, we're going to plan this privately and we're going to have this wedding. And so it worked out. But I think, for me, I'm and let me tell you, Mr. Johnson, don't let him fool you. He's very much a meticulous man himself. And so I think we were just in the space of like, we wanted to make it a longer experience. We wanted to just have everything kind of more, spaced out in a journey. And even in the midst of the pandemic, like we did many engagement parties. Like my friends surprised me with an engagement party who's in my wedding party. They surprised me, like right before the pandemic got wild, which was fun. It was like early February of 2020 before the party was wild. And I was planning to do an engagement party in October of 2020, but because of everything, I just had these like mini gatherings and had some spatial dinners and stuff. And I wasn't tripping because like engagement parties are like, they're, I no shade to people that throw them, but it just, that's the extra. But the fact that we're able to have the wedding shower at the wedding in person, this is a blessing. And I'm grateful for that and happy for the fact that I get to hang out with all of my great friends. So I went to the Wayward, and I think I teased that I was going to dinner with a friend. It was fabulous, just random. I went to the Wayward, y'all. It's they call it Midtown Village, but it's like the neighborhood, but it's the gentrified area of the neighborhood. Got its own little area. It's in a Canopy, the hotel area. Ritzy area, really pretty. It's gotten really pretty since the last time. It's right next to a Federal Donuts over there in Philly, and the Wayward Philly, that place is fabulous. I mean, we were there. It was myself and my homegirl Monica. She is an attorney, and her husband is my lawyer, which is super dope. And she was just wowed out by like the food, and it was like we had a huge like seafood tower, and we never had so I've never had oysters raw. I know. Some of you are like, what? Oysters? And Monica's the same way. Like both of us like don't do oysters raw, and like I just always was grossed out by them. It just weirded me out. Now I love me some mussels. I love some mussels. Mussels and I are best friends. I love mussels. Okay, red sauce, wine sauce, whatever sauce. I just love them in the little shell, and you take it out, and you can bite size. You can just go through them. I mean, I just love mussels. I just live for them. So I could eat that any day. Clams. I'm indifferent to clams. I'm never gonna just buy clams, but if they're there, they're there. I'm not crazy about clams. Mussels are my favorite. Calamari, of course. Octopus. I love some octopus. Oh, I love octopus. I can't speak enough about octopus. Calamari, octopus, shrimp, of course, prawns. And they had some prawns, y'all. They had these big ass shrimp, like just with the tail. Oh, I love that. Crawfish, and I grew up on crawfish growing up because, I grew up in, Houston, Galveston, that whole, the Gulf, all of that type of food. So, you had the crawfish etouffee, you had crawfish, everything. Let me tell you about crawfish. Crawfish is annoying to me, even Cajun crawfish, because it's such a big ass, like, specimen, some of these pieces. It takes so much work to shell it and take off the legs, all this crap, to get this small little piece of meat. But the little piece of meat is really good. But just the whole shelling and peeling. So that's why I feel like seafood always costs a lot of money, like crawfish and things, because of all of the work people have to do to take it, to get it, to skin it, to shell. All of that stuff is a lot of work. So I will eat crawfish etouffee, but you will not catch me going through the tedious process of that. And my best friend Jamarcus, he eats that he thinks that's so fun. I think he's getting some today actually, and we just actually talking about crawfish. He tries to do it in Philly. It's like not the same because you all like to do that Old Bay seasoning on everything, and there's nothing wrong with Old Bay. It's just like there's other types of seasonings, y'all, to season this lovely, lovely seafood. So I'm the shrimp girl, and a good old shrimp is good for me, and lobster and crab, of course. And down south, you all are eating tilapia on the East Coast, and that is a blasphemy. Real folks know a good red snapper, a good Cajun red snapper would do the trick. Okay, a good red snapper. No one eats red snapper around here. It's interesting. I'm starting to have this yearning to go back home for a small little bit of time only. Actually, I'm going back home for like the last week of May because my brother's graduating from high school, and we're going to do like the whole graduation Memorial Day weekend thing. So I'm going to be in H for like a whole week. And I haven't been in Houston in like 2 years since the pandemic. So I'm looking forward to like going home and eating boudin. Bonus points if you know what boudin is. And if you're on social media and you follow me or anything, let me know that you know what boudin is, because that is what I'm going to be devouring my entire time. I'm going to eat my way through Houston. Okay, I'm going to gain 10 pounds. And I'm going to eat my way through there. And Jamarcus is coming along for the way. So it's going to be 2 Texas boys and a Jersey boy and, other folks. And we're going to go through all of my favorite places. I'm definitely going to Papados. You already know. I'm going to hit up Ray's Barbecue. Got to get my Taco Cabana and Whataburger, which is an incredible fast food place. It's an incredible fast food place. It is an American treasure. It is a Texas legend. Whataburger is a great burger. And the burger is so damn good that they don't serve cheese on it. And don't compare it to Burger King that not serves cheese. You can get a burger there that's so tasty, so good, so filling, so big, so wonderful that it doesn't even have to have cheese on it. You can request cheese, but you don't need cheese because that's how damn good the burger is. Just good food, y'all. Just some good eating. All I can think about is food. Why is that? I mean, there's other things in Texas, the Alamo and rodeo, not now because of the pandemic, but it's a lot of things in Texas outside of food. But oh my goodness, and a good Chinese buffet. I know I went on a rant about this on a previous episode, but I'm going to get myself into somebody's Chinese buffet because I have not had a Chinese buffet in years, and it's clear that I'm yearning for it. And I love an Indian buffet in Philly, but I definitely love me a Chinese buffet. So we're definitely going to be doing some things. And then after that, I would say once we start hitting June, it's going down. Like I have to cut back. I don't want to say cut back because I feel like people think I'm going to die for the wedding. I am just going to be a mindful eater. I'm a Mario mindful eater. I was doing keto. Remember that? And it was cute. It was cute. I'll just say this. The boys, everyone in my wedding party is getting their tuxes. We're not going to get measured until like a month before the wedding because I don't know what this summer is going to do, right? Juneteenth is happening. July 4th is happening. Like, these are big, um, you know, culinary weekends. But I gotta get a fucking grip. I am though. I'm going to. But listen, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. Cause I'm a man, I'm marrying a man. I'm not about to put myself through all that pressure. But I do want to for myself. I'm about to hit 30. There's some goals I have in place. And so we're gonna hit those goals. And Jamarcus is probably listening to this episode and being like, bitch, you better get together. And we are gonna get together. Mr. Johnson's already started. You know, Mr. Johnson likes to go jogging at 6 a.m. Um, and I get up and look at him and say, oh, that's so nice. That's so great of you. Look at you. So cute. But me, I just, listen, I'm enjoying myself. But I am going to be more mindful of my enjoying myself as far as my eating. I want to do some things. But like, I'm not about to be a gym rat either. I think everyone's like, oh, I gotta go to gym. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm gonna get me a Peloton and I'm just gonna thug it out. Because I like bicycle riding. I just don't like working out in front of other people. I think that's just weird to me. I don't like running. I don't want to see people see me sweat. And all shapes of the figure. So this is gonna be something that's personal. I'm not the kind of person, and see, I'm not trying to throw shade, no shade at all. But I'm not the kind of, like, I look at I'm just going to, listen, this is my show. I look at, like, I look at working out like taking a shit. It's something that you should do, it's necessary, do it, but everybody don't got to see it and smell it, right? I just feel like that's how I look at it. Like, if you're working out, do your thing. And I will say that Mr. Johnson is very much someone who does his thing, and he does not do that whole, you got to come to the gym with me, you got to sweat. He don't do all that. He gets it early. He gets it in the morning. He's not taking pictures. He's not doing stuff. He just gets it in. And I feel like there's some people that they just have to post every fucking intimate detail of their workout online. I'm like, why? One of my really close friends, ex-husbands, he used to do gym. He used to do just nonstop videos every morning of his ass. Like, he would be doing push-ups and he would just have his butt all on the damn Instagram video, just doing the fucking most. It was borderline thirst trap. And we would just be like, why do you have to, like, document your fitness like that, dude? Can you stop? And that's how I feel. Like, I just feel like you don't need to document everything. I mean, unless it's I don't know, if you was an influencer and you was getting credit for a gym or someone's paying for a membership and you try to shout them out to promote, I mean, do your thing. But there's just some people, I just don't know. I think I'm not gonna say that. See, y'all about to give me cancer. I was going to, nope, not saying that. Gonna save that. Text me, remind me, Sharon, remind me, Jamarcus, what I was talking about, because I am not gonna say that on here. But what I will say, if people can catch the riddle, not to say anything else, but to say, how do I say this creatively? Okay. What's the point of taking pictures of yourself eating salads if you know you're going to eat a burger later on? And if you was eating the salad to get certain results, but you weren't getting those results because you was eating a burger at the end, what's the point of taking pictures of you eating a salad if in the end you're going to eat a burger? That's the metaphor or the comparison or the simile of what I really was going to say, but I'm just not going to say it that way. Figure out what it means. If you get it, you get it. If you know, you know, like the kids say. So, going down to see my brother for graduation. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Making my way down south. Riding fast and a little slow, because I can't be going too fast out here in these streets because I'm black. So yeah, that's me right now. Getting ready for the south. Getting ready for this wedding. Teasing you all as always. Let's talk about Sunday night's Oscars briefly, because Mr. Johnson and I was on the red carpet. We went down to this Oscars watch party at Sierra Green. It was a rooftop. You all loved it. I guess everyone was so happy to see us together in a photo because it's been a while. And I mean, we're always in the house together. So it's like, And I'm always with my besties out eating because Mr. Johnson is just like does not want to go out to eat anywhere. I'm forcing him to. Well, he's looking forward to like May. May is going to be a month of joy and celebration, as you know. I am going to Atlantic City. Shout out to AC, baby. We back in Jersey. We're back in Atlantic City. I'll be in Atlantic City one weekend. Then we're going to be in Houston, of course, for that week. And then we got some other stuff coming up. And I'm not ready to talk about one of the places we're going to go that's like really, really dirty. Not dirty, but like it's gluttony basically. But I want to save that for May. But we're doing a lot of stuff. Friends and I, I'm pre-planning celebrations. They're pre-planning celebrations. I kind of told them now's the time to plan something. Book a reservation. I'm a mess. But May is going to be a great month. And, because of that, I get invited to restaurants and I like to go out to new restaurants all the time. And so, my road dog has always been Shamarcus and a couple of my friends. Like I try to alternate people's availability. Like, hey, do you want to come with me? Because I'm always going. And they're like, but like because of that, we haven't really gone out as much. So therefore, I'm like, y'all don't want to see us in sweats taking pictures. That's kind of weird. So I like when we go out, we dress up, we look cute, and that was like the first time in a long time we've been out to an event together because most of the events have been tastings. There hasn't really been any major red carpet things. And, for many of us, y'all have been following our relationship and everything. We are so used to going out together to these big events and stuff. And because of the pandemic, that's been a bummer because we miss that stuff. So the Oscars party is something we always go to, and it's thrown by the Philadelphia Film Society. Lovely people. They put on the Philadelphia Film Festival and all that great stuff. And so we've been going I think since we started dating, probably like 2006, 2005. It's been like 5 to 6 years since we've been going. And we go every year. We watch all of the films. We make our predictions on who's getting nominated, who's winning what. And, we typically enjoy the fanfare. I mean, this year was outdoors, which was fun because we were on this nice, cozy outdoor chair, spread, and we were on top of the hill, and we were high up. We were at Cyril Lounge on the rooftop in the green deck, and the big screen was there. It was a fun time. The food was really good this year because they were having food from this place called Sunset Social, and the food was just fabulous. And I think it was Garza's who was catering the main food, and it was so fabulous. It was fabulous. But I do miss the theater. I miss being indoors. I miss that experience because one of the things that kind of irked me was that a lot of people that were there were not like movie fans. They were just in long dresses trying to be cute. And I'm like, y'all, it's the fucking Oscars on. Shut the fuck up. That's how I felt sometimes. I'm like, Daniel Kaluuya is winning Best Supporting Actor. Why are you why? Be quiet. This is a historic fucking moment. And, there was a lot of stuff like that. Like Chloe Zhao wins Best Director and everyone's munching in the tent. I'm like, there's people here who care about the fact that the first woman of color to ever win Best Director, the second woman in Oscar history, is up there receiving this award. And the rest of us want to hear what she has to say. I was so happy for the subtitles, but goddamn. So that was that. But other than that, it was a great event. But I just can't wait till we start going back indoors full time because normally those types of people will be in the lobby. And the real viewers, the folks that really watch the Oscars, we're in the main theater. And we're getting our life because it feels like you're there because you're in the seats, you're looking at the screen. I mean, it's a great experience in the theater. So I'm just cannot wait for us to go back and have that experience. But this is a first world complaint. I'm giving you all socialite, debutante whine and whimper. To the Oscars themselves, what the fuck? Okay? What the entire fuck? I was pissed off. I was happy and mad at the same damn time. I first of all, so Barry, Mr. Johnson, my fiance, he was like, this is tacky when he saw the layout for the Oscars this year they had at the train station. And, it was as pretty as it can be, but it just looked weird because LA is on, it's 3 hours back from the East Coast. So, we're so used to being in the theater thinking that it's nighttime in LA, even though we know it's not. But the feeling is that it's nighttime, so everybody's indoors. So to see that daytime light outside, even though we know it's nighttime. When they on the red carpet, it's daylight. But when the night starts, night falls. You know, that's how you think of it. But anyway, it was just weird to see the daytime light creep in. The seats were kind of weird. It was just very awkward in that way. But let's get into these winners. So, okay, Daniel Kaluuya winning Best Supporting Actor was like my favorite win of the entire night as far as like acting categories. Like, thank fucking God. Because, like, yes. All right? He deserves. He's been killing it, okay? 32 years old, killing it. You know who else was my favorite win too? Her, who I've been bragging about since the Grammys. Her won Best Original Song. Again, Judas and the Black Messiah, they both won. I told you that movie. I kept hinting at it each episode. Go back. I kept saying this movie, there's something special here with Dan Kaluuya, and he won. So I was so happy about that. Now let's talk about people who won that didn't win and things like that. Glenn Close Law. She lost to the actress in Minari. I've been calling Minari, but I've been mispronouncing it. But she lost to the Asian actress who played in that role, which I'm so happy for her. She became the second she became the first Korean actress to win, the second Asian actress to win an Oscar for acting. So that was a moment for sure. Was very happy with. So it's Yoon Yeon Jung, who played Sunja, the grandmother in Minari, which is translation for water celery, which is what they were growing in the film or hinting at growing in the film. Such a beautiful film. Was really happy that it won something. Very happy. And so it was like if Glenn Close was to lose, she should have lost to her. So, it was fair. Things that were not fair. So, Frances McDormand won Best Actress, which she won at the BAFTAs, the British Oscars, which we talked about. She won for Nomadland, which I was happy for Chloe Zhao, who won for Nomadland. Very happy for her. But Frances just won a couple years ago for 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, which I was okay with that. But no. And now I have to be a little shady. So Frances McDormand is now a 3-time Oscar-winning actress. She has 4 Oscars. She won one for producing Nomadland, which was, great job producing. And you know what? Shout out to her because she talked about, getting a writer, the inclusion writer, which is what she kind of did with Nomadland, with the diversity of people on the writer and the people working. So her, speech in the 2018 Oscars was on point because she did what she said she was going to do. She said, she preached, she walked the walk, and that's good. But okay, great job, producer. Nomadland won Best Picture. I can live with that. Cool. Judas and the Black Messiah was my personal favorite Best Picture. I mean, first Black film to have Black producers, an all Black producer team lead it. You know what I'm saying? And to be nominated like that. But I know the Academy wasn't going to give a Chairman Fred Hampton film, Best Picture. But I mean, the fact that Dan Kaluuya got Best Supporting Actor for playing him, I mean, that was bold. And good for Daniel. I mean, he just deserved it. But anyway, Frances McDormand, I mean, she's always playing that white woman with no makeup, with, middle America, bumblefuck America, always playing the woman who might be a Trump supporter, but she acts like she's got a little bit more wokeness than that, but she might do it, but at the same time wants to tell you she's not racist. I mean, that's like her character. I mean, she played a cop in Fargo. She played, which I liked her in 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. But, I mean, Nomadland, she was good in Nomadland. I mean, I can't deny her in it, but I just felt like it's like Frances McDormand has such a very, I'm not saying she doesn't have range. I just feel like I mean, she's played in roles that are not like that. Like she's played in, for example, Almost Famous, and that was a really good film. She's played in other stuff that isn't like. I mean, North Country, kind of the same character. North Country again, Bumblefuck America. I mean, Charlize Theron and North Country was a real revelation, just like she was in Monster, because she's drop dead gorgeous, and then she plays these roles that are like very less glamorous, which is what I think is her shtick. Like when Halle Berry was in Monsters Ball. And we're not going to talk about Halle Berry's hair because Halle Berry can do what the fuck she wants because she's Halle Berry. We're going to talk about her in a different way. But shout out to her and her fine old hair. Oh, her and her boo, Van Hunt. Oh my goodness. Van Hunt is a catch. Like Van Hunt's in his 50s, like his early, like they're around the same age, under 50. Van Hunt is cute for an old head. I was like, okay, I see you, Holly. He's a musician, a Grammy Award winning musician, a good looking Grammy Award musician. How you doing? But very, very, very cute man. I was like, oh. And I mean, she claimed him on her Instagram like last year. Listen, Halle Berry on social media is everything. On her Twitter and her Instagram. I follow both. And I don't really follow celebrities like that on social media. But Halle is just, I enjoy her. I enjoy Halle Berry. I think she's just, yeah, leave her hair cut alone. It is what it is. She can, when you're at that level of the business, you can do what you want to do. If she wanted to go bald, I would still be rocking Team Halle Berry, actually. Halle Berry has done short cuts, long cuts, gives you a little bit of a dirty blonde look, gives you straight jet black, gives you storm white. I mean, she's giving you everything. Halle Berry is like, leave Halle Berry alone, okay? Just put that out there. Love me some Halle Berry. But anyway, I mean, Frances McDormand plays the same, like, she's been playing the same types. Like, she has her roles, and, like, she loves to play the gridiron white woman in Bumblefuck America that is, like, in a red state, most likely. And, she's always the tough, take no bullshit. That's, like, her brand. And that's cool, but I just feel like there was nothing she did in Nomadland that made me go, this is the best performance of the year. It was a good performance, but it wasn't nothing different for her. I mean, this woman got 3 Oscars for Best Actress. She won for Fargo, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and she won now for Nomadland. It took my fave, the greatest actress of our generation, Meryl Streep. And I don't even need to say Meryl Streep. I just need to say Meryl. It took Meryl 30 years between Sophie's Choice and The Iron Lady to win another Oscar. Even though she had about maybe like 10, 12, 13, something else nominations in between the first win, the last win. She was nominated in the 70s for The Deer Hunter, won for Kramer versus Kramer, Best Supporting Actress, and then won for Sophie's Choice in the 80s, and then turned around in 2017, I believe, like right before Frances won, or a little bit before then, maybe a little bit before 2011, I think it was. Like 30 years, 2011. She hasn't won in 10 years, but since been nominated and continues to get nominated in spite of winning the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award and all these other awards. A beast of the theater. And up there with, Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn has the most Oscars as a woman, 4 acting Oscars. Meryl Streep has 3, Ingrid Bergman, and now Frances McDormand. And I'm just a little annoyed. Because I think Frances McDormand is very much a top tier actress. I just don't know if you should be having her in the same conversation with Meryl Streep. Not when you look at the range. Like Meryl has the range. Frances does not have the range. Frances is like, and I like me some Hilary Swank, but I have to say this. She's like a Hilary Swank, but a little bit more pronounced in her career in the sense that she gets she doesn't do that many films, but she'll just do that one big film, and then she'll get her Oscar, maybe something with the Coen brothers, make that little cameo appearance, and then get her Oscar nomination dip. Versus the consistency of someone like Meryl Streep is like, she's giving you work every single year that is always going to be up for conversation or contention because that's how much of a beast she is. Like, Meryl Streep is like the Michael Jordan of Hollywood acting. She is one of the greatest of all time, of the generation, career defining. She can change her accent in different languages. She is the quintessential actress of our time. And the woman who should have won that award is also sitting next to her, and that's Viola Davis. So I really wanted Viola Davis to win that award. I really, after thinking about it, y'all, like Carey Mulligan, okay, so you know how there's the who I want to win, who should win, and who will win. Like Frances winning isn't too much of a shock. It's an annoying shock. Who should have won if we're talking about performances? I mean, Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman would have been the safest pick. I know people talk about Andra Day. Child, I'm happy that she's got nominated for an Oscar. This is a great opening performance for her, a great opportunity. Go back and keep acting, keep doing some more work, if that's what it is. I just feel like what she had is kind of like what Gaga had with A Star Is Born, where like this was just a very like great role, but it doesn't necessarily speak to a full-time acting career. I know that Gaga is trying to make this acting career pop now, and she has every reason to try. Kind of like when Beyonce thought she was going to do the same thing with Dreamgirls, and look where we're at in 2021. I think that for me, Carey Mulligan is definitely, she's got it. I mean, she's been nominated before. She was in a movie called In Education back in the early 2000s. Great actress, but Promising Young Woman, I mean, I thought was very timely. The writer, Emerald, first of all, can we back up? Do you know that the writer and director, and I think she's also producer of Promising Young Woman, the woman who wrote it and produced it, a big deal, Emerald, her name is Emerald. Do you know that she played, okay, maybe everyone knew this but me, but she played Camilla in The Crown, the latest season of The Crown. That is her. The one who was eating that weird food and stuff in her mouth with Princess Diana in that scene, the one who's been messed up, was getting played by Charles left and right. Her. She wrote Promising Young Woman. She produced it. She directed. She's a big damn deal. She won an Oscar. I was happy for her winning an Oscar. By let me just say that I was happy she won the Oscar for best, screenplay, which shocked a lot of people because I think they thought the trial of the Chicago 7 with Aaron Sorkin was going to win, because Aaron Sorkin won for writing The Social Network, but which is, that movie. I debated whether that movie was really as good as it was, or was it just a moment, because that movie came out in 2010. Mark Zuckerberg was not the trashed asshole that we now know him to be now, privacy invader. He was different to people then. But I don't know if that movie was just a relic of the time or if it aged well. I went back and watched it, I think, on Netflix earlier this year. And I was kind of like, it is kind of semi-interesting. But I didn't think of it as genius as it was now when it was like, I don't know, when I was like 18 and it came out when I was a freshman in college and everybody in college was thinking they're going to be Mark Zuckerberg, except for myself because I don't play white boys. All of that shit. I mean, it was just different. But anyway, Emerald won. Emerald played Camilla. And then I want to just say, wow. Like, wow. I was just shocked by that. Emerald Fennell is she's just everything. Just talent. And the crazy thing about her is that in the film, she had a role. I think they said she had a role in the film, which is funny because she played the video tutorial host, if y'all remember, with the British accent. And she was a director, writer, and producer. And she killed it. She's apparently a talent. She's 35. She's a Libra. So, Libra's always out here winning. And she's just great. So I was happy for her. But that being said, I thought Carey Mulligan could have won. I would have not been upset if she was going to win. But I really, in my heart, wanted Viola Davis to win. I know people felt like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom wasn't like her, best role ever. Which, when you're looking at Viola Davis's career, because people always call her like the Black Meryl Streep, which I don't think is appropriate because Viola Davis is her own beast. Okay, and I love me some Meryl, but Meryl cannot snot cry on the spot like Viola Davis can. I'm just saying, Viola gets in it. They're just beasts of their kind, and they're in acting geniuses and magnets, and I just love their work. But Viola Davis, I would have liked her to win. She would have been the second Black woman to win the Oscar for Best Lead Actress. Halle Berry remains the only one to ever win. That was back in 2001, 2012. It was 2002 Oscars for the 2001 season. She would have been the most awarded Black actress in Oscar history, because Every black actress currently has one Oscar. Viola Davis, if she would have got Best Actress, she would have had two acting Oscars. Now, Denzel, the GOAT, has two. And no one has more than Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington has two. She would have been tied with Denzel, who I think is her contemporary. The same way I think Jack Nicholson would arguably be Meryl Streep's contemporary. But nowadays people say Daniel Day-Lewis. But I think Daniel Day-Lewis is more of the Frances McDormand category of like, he picks a role, but he has range. So I don't know if I should even compare him to Frances. But I would say up top is like, Pacino, Denzel, Tom Hanks, slightly down a notch. But I would say Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, I would say Robert De Niro's up there, and Jack Nicholson. But I would say Jack Nicholson, is equivalent as far as range. And Dustin Hoffman, we can't sleep on Dustin Hoffman. Dustin is definitely delivered for sure. My thoughts. But I would have liked Vala to win. She also would have been the only black actress in history to win a leading actress Oscar, Tony, which she won for Fences, an Emmy, which she won for How to Get Away with Murder. Like, there's so many like records she would have broken. Like, I don't know how many. I think she would have probably been the only actress. I don't know any other actress that's won a Best Leading Actress, Emmy, Tony, and Oscar. Yeah, not all three. Like, I know, I can't think. Not all three. I think Helen Mirren definitely won an Emmy, no, a Tony for Best Lead Actress playing Elizabeth. She's always playing Queen Elizabeth, so I don't know if I should even count her. But I don't think she's ever won an actual Emmy, though. She won a Tony and she won an Oscar, but not an Emmy. But Viola, I think, would have been maybe the only actress, period, regardless of race. Because Meryl Streep didn't do that. Meryl Streep won a Emmy. She's won an Oscar, but she's never won a Tony. So I think Viola would have been it, man. But they just denied the Queen because Frances and whiteness. Okay, and then last but not least, wrapping this up. I mean, about this Oscar stuff. I get caught up in, as you can see. Chadwick Boseman losing Best Actor was on nobody's scorecard except the BAFTAs, because the BAFTAs actually predicted everything right. The British Academy Awards. They predicted the wins right. And I'm just like, why in the fuck is American award shows like literally neck and neck close to what they are? I mean, even the SAG Awards gave us a surprise, right? But no, Chadwick Boseman lost to Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins, for The Father. And I'm going to just say this real quick. Sir Anthony Hopkins killed it in The Father. It is a powerful role. It was a very good movie. Olivia Colman, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, was great. I mean, it was a great film. He is a great actor. But I'm sorry, y'all. 2020 was the year of Chadwick Boseman, the life and legacy of that man who not only gave us one great role, but two great roles. I mean, in The Five Bloods. I mean, this was a career. This man gave us his dying role, put his soul into his last ever acting role, left it all on the table, and you all basically said, nope, we're going to give it to an 83-year-old man who's already won an Oscar for Best Lead Actor and don't really need any more honors to his name. The man already has a knightship, okay? And the fact that they didn't let Anthony Hopkins, apparently he wasn't allowed to give his acceptance speech. He wanted to do it on Zoom because he didn't want to travel one of the satellite locations, but they told him that he couldn't do it, so he had to do it on Instagram. And in his acceptance speech, he did acknowledge Chadwick Boseman. What was so fucked up about the awards, they kept moving the categories this year. Mr. Johnson, I was just noticing that. Like, we're just like, okay, so y'all just going to put, so you are just going to, like, put Best Director in the first hour, I think. Screenplay was the first name. Supporting Actress came miles and miles later. And then Best Actor was the Best Actor, Best Actress was the final award. They announced Best Picture. Best Picture always comes at the end. But I think the producers thought they were going to end it on this very beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman. And then it ended with it going to Anthony Hopkins and there being like, oh, that's it, everyone. And then, Frances McDormand giving like that 30-second speech where she corrects her director and tells her, I'm not Fern, I'm Fran. I'm like, clearly she's trying to be creative. Are you so obnoxious and like unaware to like read jokes or get humor? just the obnoxiousness, the pretentiousness of Hollywood sometimes. I just cannot. The Oscars is, I was over it. I said defund the Oscars. Another person on my Facebook was like, abolish the Oscars. Man, at this point, that's what it's given. That's what it's fucking given. Because I was like, this is some bullshit, y'all. Like, how are y'all out here trying to play my good Judy? Like, y'all out here really played my people. Y'all played all of my people. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mess. It was an entire mess. The only rising star moment was the love and the joy I had from seeing Glenn Close do the butt. Which, again, I just want everybody to know. First of all, she's at the Oscars. She's talking about the DMV, which is Delaware. Not Delaware. Oop, they're going to cancel me. DC, Maryland, Virginia. I'm not from the DMV, y'all. Forgive me. But we was dragging it out, and they were doing this thing called the butt, which was hilarious. And I was just gagging at the doing the butt song, because I was just like, well, what are we doing here, kind of thing. But she was killing it. Like, don't sleep on Glenn Close. Glenn Close was giving us the work. And I was just like, okay, girl. She's like, doing the dance and stuff. But she killed it. And, honestly, she gave us an Oscar. She should have got an Emmy for that performance. Like, best guest starring performance or something. Okay? Because that was the life of what was a very dry, sometimes annoying show. I mean, the in memoriam section, let's not even talk about the omissions of some of the actors they left out. Like, it was a lot going on. But Glenn Close doing the butt was great. And I just want y'all to know in advance, I am going to chair the Black delegation for the Glenn Close nomination committee when she gets her 9th nomination for hopefully Sunset Boulevard. And we got to get her it, y'all. We have to come together. We have to be on that. I'm already going to be a part of that committee as far as the Black Glenn Close friends. I'm going to chair that delegation because I don't know what it's going to take for Glenn Close to get a fucking Oscar. She's giving you a hillbilly. She is giving you a crazy psychopath woman. She's giving you Albert Nobbs. She's giving you a depressed wife. She's going to give you a dangerous liaison, big chill. What more can she do? She kidnapped Dalmatian dogs in London. What else can she do? What is it going to take? Let me know. I am angry, okay? If there's ever been an injustice towards a white woman in the world, it's when Glenn Close being denied this. And then you know who's next to her is Amy Adams. So I need to go ahead and get on these committees. I need to figure out what we got to do as a group. Do I need to join the academy? What do I need to do to make this happen? So that's all. That's all. That's all. That's it. All right. All right. Moving along. So people's been asking me about this, and listen, I have thoughts clearly. Rudolph Giuliani, y'all. Rudolph motherfucking Giuliani. It's a lot. Mr. Giuliani is out here. Federal investigators have executed a search warrant for Rudolph Giuliani's apartment, y'all. It's going down. It's about to go down. Something, but you know what? Something is telling me to hold my breath. And, it's a lot. So it's a lot of things that was having a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I just just like every time, like I just feel like Trump and Giuliani and all these people, they're like these bitter girls who they see the TV news and they're just in their mindset like, we're not being talked about enough. We need to shake the table. Today I choose violence. Trump chose violence every damn day during his presidency, but I think they just wake up and be like, we need to be in the news again. I need the. I mean, I think they look back. They're going to be locked up sometime somewhere, and they're going to be looking back at each other and saying, "Remember the time when we had the media on lock, when we stopped everything and we shut shit down? Remember how you used to say something dumb at a press conference? I used to back your dumb ass up, and you used to be my. You remember we used to shut it down? I feel like they are like trolls. They are trolls. They are American trolls. Like they literally are just having hopscotch with the shenanigans, and it's just it's you can't even be. I don't know what kind of emotion I can give, but it's just so much, so much, so much. Oh my goodness. So there's a lot. There's a lot. That's all I can say. There's a lot. There's a lot. A lot of this apparently is dealing with his Ukrainian involvements with the Russians. A lot of that stuff is on the table right now. A lot of people are getting, really, antsy about some of the relationships he's had with the Russians and some of the stuff he's got going on elsewhere. For me, y'all, I just think, it's like, I don't know. I just refuse to give Trump and give them this much of my energy. I just feel like there is this energy about everything he do until I see an indictment, until I see the cops, arrest him because clearly they want to keep stopping and frisking black people. Until I see a headline that says he's been indicted on charges and they have to arrest him and take people out, then I am not going to get hyped. The fact that Roger Stone did his little sentence, got locked up, and then, people got pardoned, just shows you how that anticlimactic was that. These white men have 9 lives. They're cats. So, I don't know. I'm not getting myself too excited, but I just thought it should be something that you all should know. So, that's going on. But speaking of crazy Republicans and speaking about the day, I know some of you all saw that my cousin Candace Owens is out here showing her ass once again, making a fool of herself. We all have a crazy cousin, and it's just been a lot, to have to bear the same last name as someone who is out here telling people don't wear a mask. And so we had words, we had words on, Twitter. She said don't wear a mask. I basically told Twitter, yo, this, I'm reporting this misleading information, health information. She clapped back in a way that I shouldn't be surprised that she clapped back the way she did, but she knows she likes to do the most. So she said, don't wear a mask, just blatantly on her Twitter. And I said to her, I quote tweeted her and said, Twitter, I'm here to report a misleading health tweet. She then responded back and said, quoted my tweet and said, we do not have a federal mask mandate. I'm sorry you live in a slave state. I live in a state where masking is a choice. States without mask mandates have lower infection rates than states with several lockdown and mask policies. I don't even know if that's fucking true. And I heard the tea is that Miss Candace don't even fucking live, in a state. She lives in D.C. So are you for D.C. statehood, sis? Are you going against the Republicans? Are you going to support D.C. statehood? Because I support D.C. statehood. So what's good? So I responded back and said, cousin, you didn't clarify which state you were at. You just gave out a blanket statement. People need to be wearing masks indoors. Y'all done already lost Herman Cain and so many of your Republican pals to such inadequate health info. See, I came with the facts, the drag, and the tug. Okay? Don't come for me unless I send for you. My thing is with Candace Owens, I was looking at that and I said, people like Candace Owens, I'm not even going to get into that. But I was like, you know what? But people like Candace, I am going to get into that. I'm not going to get into Candace. I'm not even going to do Candace Owens. But actually, I'm going to do Candace Owens because I feel like that was a tea. So to be very clear, I do not know if we're actually cousins. But, we do have family. I have family. She has family in North Carolina and South Carolina and I guess parts of the South. There could be. I don't know for certain. I'm not really trying to investigate this, but there is a possibility, but I'm not going to find out if it is true. So she's gonna have to do the work to figure that out. But I think both of us don't want to be related to each other in real life. But we might be actually. The crazy part is we actually might be. Um, Somebody from my side was like, we got family down there where she's from. And I was like, oh, where her father is from, who is the Owens. And I was like, we do? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, who's gonna find this out? So I don't want to find out. But I could. But see, what if I find out? Listen, I'm gonna say this. I might already know the answer. And I'm not gonna tell you what the answer is. I'm just gonna say that I didn't know, or I haven't found out anything, and I'm not going to go digging. But if I did know, I don't know what relevance it would do for me to just show that information. So I'm just gonna joke around and continue to joke because it's just a joke until a confirm. Well, no comments. All I'm gonna say is you cannot pick your family. If so said person is your family, you can't. Now, listen. What they say, chosen family, chosen family. I didn't choose. I choose who's in my family, and I choose who's not in my family, in my core family. So I don't know who she is. All right, moving along. CDC has said that if you're fully vaccinated, you can now go outside and wear a mask. You can be maskless now if you're fully vaccinated, as long as you stay away from large crowds. I'm sorry, but like, if you was by yourself outside the park, I was gonna have a motherfucking mask off regardless, because the narrative to me was I wasn't around anybody. What y'all thought COVID was in the air? I don't know, but to me, people are just like, people ain't reading this right. Crowds. Most of the time, you walking down the street in huddles, or you're on the SEPTA, which is not outside technically. You have to have the mask. There's people like, oh, I could go maskless now. No, you got to put the. I don't know why they put that information out there. I don't know why. There was already conversation about outdoors anyway. I mean, in a way, you're like, okay, we're starting to open it back up, but people are still dying. I had a close friend who got COVID. They was about to get their second vaccine, but they got tested positive. And it was a situation they went to. Wasn't like they were actively being reckless or anything like that, but they, went somewhere and, that's how they think they got it. But it's just like, this is not the time to be backtracking. There's a report that came out that said millions of Americans are not getting their second Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. So they got their first one and they was like, okay, that's enough for me. And I mean, I figured some dumb shit was going to happen like that because a lot of people, the Johnson shots, even though we now heard there was the reports about the blood clots, that was the more effective way to get this shit done because people didn't want to go out here and just get, to have to come back. And it was a one shot, you're done, hit it, quit it, you're done. But like a lot of people are now, worried about that because they're thinking that that's part of the reason why we've had some of these other problems. But it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? You, you know, uh, just, uh, I just, mm, 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 mm. I just had to take a moment because I just was thinking about something I heard where uh, I just thinking, something just came upon me. Like, there's so many people who have gotten COVID and they got the first vaccination, got COVID, and then they had second like shot. Like they got other symptoms after they recovered. And they were in the middle of getting their second vaccine before they was fully vaccinated. They started to get symptoms even after the fact that they were, you know, no longer positive for COVID. Those side effects still lingered. And there's so many people I know, not close to most of my close friends are like fully vaccinated. My wedding party is like mostly vaccinated at this point. But there's some people I know that has just been like, I don't know. And I'm just like hearing stories of them starting to get COVID. And while none of them that I know have had any major issues, some of them are talking about having other symptoms related to it. And I just feel like, I read an article, a peer of mine, who's another journalist in the business or in media, I would say, couldn't taste for a period of time. I think they could taste now, but they was losing certain senses or having issues with their senses. That shit is wild. That shit is wild. You know, and you know, I just feel like this is not the time to roll the dice. Everybody wants to be a health expert. Everybody wants to be sarcastic. Everybody wants to be all these other things. Um, and you know, yeah, just no, and so, so yeah, no. um, so I say all that to say that just wear your mask, fuck Candace Owens, um, and just be smart out there. Period. That was heavy. I'm just, it's just weird. There's moments where this stuff just flashbacks at you, stuff that stories you heard, situations that happen to friends, and it's weird. And I just don't think people still get it. I think still people still want to roll the dice, and I'm pretty over it. To be quite honest, I'm pretty over it. I just want people to live. I want more people to survive out here. I just want people to be smart, safe, hands clean. I just want more people to make it through this. That's all. So, talking about some things that I've seen, um, there is yet again just, I'm just going to say this because I'm working on, I have put out a guide um, that is major. There's a guide that I have that is, a ultimate guide to basically, um, there's this trend, and I didn't realize that this was happening, but like basically there is, white people that I know, colleagues, friends, folks in the business, whatever the case is, there's this thing where whenever a racist tragedy happened, and there's been a lot going on, okay? There's this situation that's happening to this, there's a case, there was a shooting that took place in North Carolina, a man named Andrew Brown Jr. The judge just recently declined an immediate release of a video of basically a footage of a police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr., who was killed last week, by the county sheriff's deputies. A California man died after officers pinned him to the ground for 5 minutes, and that was, body camera footage that was released on Tuesday. Like, this is consistently going on. And then you have this situation that is a lot that involves, this thing. I guess um, Micaiah Bryant, the 16-year-old girl who was killed, that, idiots, wanted to sit up here and put, you know, these, huge things on or whatever. It's a lot. And I don't know. I just can't. And it's just so many, issues and things going on. I mean, just, yeah. So, a lot of emotions. Somebody, I mean, before I get into this, I just want to talk about this situation, which people had been asking me about. And at first I was like, do I want to talk about this or do I not? But I do. I guess I do have to give this idiot 5 seconds. So Tyler Perry, received the Jean Hirschholt Humanitarian Award. And a lot of people felt like, he's done a lot of things for the community, for the industry, for the state of Georgia, and employed a lot of people through his studio. But at his, his honoring, because we know he's never going to get an Oscar, at least for any of his acting or any of his producing or directorial work. I mean, he's just never going to. I mean, well, shit, anything can happen. But one would hope that the Academy wouldn't be that dumb. But one of the things that, Tyler Perry said at this event was that he basically said, he decided that he wanted to conflate several things together as one. So when he accepted his humanitarian award, he was like, I refuse to hate someone because they are Mexican or because they are black or white or LGBTQ. I refuse to hate someone because they are a police officer. I refuse to hate someone because they're Asian. Let me clarify that. He said LBGTQ because he didn't say LGBTQ. He said LBGTQ. I'm like, Tyler Perry lives in Atlanta. Tyler Perry, who been out here? Tyler Perry, you don't know how to say LGBTQ? Okay. Okay. Interesting. But that's all I have to say. He conflated marginalized communities and the hate that, Mexican, black people, Asian people, white people, what? LGBT, what? I'm confused. So now he's talking about refuse hate and referring to this as if police officers are in the same category as black people or LGBTQ people or LBGTQ people. Like, what? But, I'm not surprised because Tyler was out here saying we need more police officers during the summer of George Floyd. There's always going to be an asshole that comes around and gets money, right? Gets rich, come from hard times, drinks prosperity gospel, believes that their situation is everyone's situation, and get into a brainwashed, unprincipled, very sunken place that is harder to get out of than where they were before once they believe that capitalism and wealth can then give them this level of intellect that aspires to whiteness and anti-blackness. And Tyler Perry is someone who I feel like this man gets a humanitarian award, but what people don't understand is this is a man who has made films that push toxic narratives about black women, HIV, and poverty, who loves backing the police, and has fucked over unions. He's anti-union as fuck, but he got a damn humanitarian award from the Academy Awards. That's what I think about it. Those are my thoughts on that. Now back to this other point. So I created a guide for Philadelphia Magazine that was like a service piece. And service pieces are just simply pieces that are like, you create a guide and you tell everybody all of the things that you need them to do, like a restaurant guide or something like that. So I made a guide that's called Before You DM Your Black Friends About the Latest Racist Tragedy, Read This. And I basically framed it up, thinking of sending one of these 10 comments to a black friend, think again. And I framed it around some stuff that was going on with the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, which some of you watched that special edition episode last week. I talked about how I was so annoyed by the direct messages I was getting from white people that were just asking me all these questions. And it's become a thing that's been happening for a minute now. And I have just been so annoyed. And so I decided to do basically a frequently asked questions and answer those questions so that hopefully other black people don't not have to do with the same shit I've had to deal with. Because I realized that I thought maybe it's because I'm a journalist. And maybe because I'm a black journalist that cover race. But I realized that I have friends who are like not into journalism. Well, they respect and appreciate journalism, but they're not a journalist. And they get hit up about anything around race. And it's a pattern. And so, I wrote this with a little bit of snark, with a little bit of sass, but a lot of fucking real truth to hyperlink and to just say, because I get paid to be a journalist, right? I get paid to talk about these things, that I want to create a service piece that could help some people and maybe provide myself the opportunity that whenever somebody comes to me with this bullshit, I can send them that link, and that could be the guide, the ultimate guide to just shutting down a lot of this bullshit. So if you haven't seen the guide yet on my social, if you haven't found it, find the guide, my white friends, white peers, white followers, white listeners, white subscribers. Follow this guide, share it out there, tell people about it, and let's get folks together, because the DMs that are happening needs to stop. Like, unless you are a close friend of mine or somebody that I really have as a confidant, please stop hitting my DMs up with rants and whines about racism and shit. Like, really respect my time. Like, I'm not like this is. Listen, I have put so much of my personal time and efforts into addressing anti-blackness and addressing those issues and addressing anti-racism and how people can stop being racist and how to defeat white supremacy. I do this as a part of my journalism work. I choose to cover these topics and be into them. Respect my time. Respect it. I respect it. Like, please. Because it's I have a life. I have a wedding, I have a career, I have a bunch of good stuff coming up in a way that I'm going to put my energy and time into. And just thinking that you could just hit me up at the wee hours for shit about race, stop it. Stop it. Especially if you're not coming to the table and compensating my time. Because I am a professional and I get paid for my work. And if you're asking me to do work that requires emotional labor or anything of that nature, then don't hit me up. Because it does not bring me any joy to sit around like I'm a hotline and be like, let me find that black guy I can pick his brain about. Don't fucking pick my brain about any fucking thing. This is not a plantation. My head is not a plantation, and you cannot pick it. My brain is my black excellence. My black genius is not a plantation for you to pick it. I had to type that down. Because some people don't understand that. When I get that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta tell people full fucking stop. People just be out here doing it. I said, like, no, my black brain is not a plantation for you to pick it. No. And I think sometimes, people think that way. People think that your black brain is a plantation for them to pick from it. And you can't. You cannot do that. So, I just wanted to say that. And it's real. It's very real. And I had to keep it 100. It's been interesting seeing the fact that as much as it is sometimes inspirational. Sometimes it's inspirational to have, I'm going to say white people, but just anyone who, even allies, quote unquote, from the community, from different communities I'm part of, that are showing interest in something. It's always this feeling that it's a good feeling. Like, oh, someone's interested. But at the same time, you have to realize, like, I can't tell you how the summer of 2020 was crazy because I wrote about this in an op-ed for the Nation, but I made so much money. I was being called on to write so many pieces. I was asked to do so much different things left and right. And it was a lot, y'all. Like it was a lot. Like it was a lot. And I was being asked left and right to do this and do that. And it was great for my career because I needed it because, look, we got a wedding to finance, right? So those were great opportunities. But at the same time, it was just interesting how much energy and interest that people had for me, right? As a black person, had for my visibility, my skin, my all of those things. It's interesting that there was that type of energy. And I hadn't had that before. Like that. So so much. So much. You know? Um a lot. A lot. So people have been asking me what I've been watching on TV since Queen Sugar is no longer on air. The season wrapped up. What a finale! But I won't say more. I've actually been going back and watching classics. I watched the Boondocks. I've been rewatching the Boondocks. I've been into season one. Okay, so I forgot, but Regina King was the voice of Huey Freeman and Riley. I did not know. I knew that, but I forgot. It's been so long. The show came out like in 2005. And so it's been like 15, 16 years. But like, oh my goodness. Like, I was like, what? Regina King, like Oscar winner, Emmy winner, Regina King. Oh, wow. So I was very much so smitten and surprised by that. Just want to put that out there. Just so surprised. But I've been watching it, and the commentary is so timely. Like I'm watching this as if it was like the R. Kelly episode. Like all of the stuff. Like it's so like this show could have came out like now. It's so relevant, so timely. Oh, I forgot how much vulgarity it has. I mean, they're just dropping the N-bomb like every 5 seconds. But it's a black creator. It's a black show. It's very funny. Some of the content, I'm like, I don't know if they could get away with that um, in 2021. But it has definitely stood the test of time in many ways, but it's relevance. Definitely an iconic show. Other stuff I've been watching. So HBO Max has become my favorite app right now. Like one of my favorite of the streaming platforms. I'm really feeling HBO Max, y'all. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot how HBO Max had like their own movies that were popping. Like they had their own like Emmy nominated movies and television movies that were great. So I watched Wizard of Lies, which had Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer in this like New York Brooklyn accent or Harlem accent she has. It's gorgeous. She's just great in it. But Robert De Niro plays Bernie Madoff. It's the Bernie Madoff biopic, about the scandal and everything. And it was just, I mean, it was a great film. It was just very like, yeah. I mean, they basically showed the horrible ending and the conclusion. Like I forgot that his two sons died. One committed suicide and one died from lymphoma. The mother, Ruth Madoff, the wife, is still alive. Bernie Madoff just recently died like about a couple of weeks ago. But that family and just the drama, and they really fucked over some people. He was sentenced to 150 years in prison, which is over 11,800 months behind bars. Woo! But people hated him. But the crazy thing about him was he was just the chillest, coolest a cucumber criminal ever. Like he's like, yeah, I did it, and it was bad, and he just didn't give a fuck. But Robert De Niro, I was so happy to see him. I mean, he's been acting. He got an Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook, but he's been lighter with his roles. I mean, he gave us The Irishman, okay, which is probably his last, probably great film. I mean, even Jack Nicholson retired from acting, and I would have liked one more film from him, but stuff happens. But yeah, I've been really watching that. Now, shows that are currently on I've been watching, because y'all have been asking. Okay, Mayor of Easttown. Oh my God. Woo! I need you all to watch that ASAP so we can like chat about it. Mayor of Easttown is, this week the second episode just came on. It comes on every Sunday night. It's on HBO Max. Original show. Kate Winslet is starring in it. It is set in what is it, Delco? I think it is because she got the Delco accent. It's like an imaginary place, East Town. I don't know if East Town is real, but it's like supposed to be in Pennsylvania, like around Delco. But she has a Delco accent, and she kills it. She is definitely giving you Pennsylvania energy. She's definitely giving you I'm eating a Wawa hoagie. I appreciate her. I appreciate just Kate Winslet. I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a huge Kate Winslet fan, and super happy that she finally had got an Oscar for her role in The Reader, which I encourage you to watch that movie too, because that is a very good movie, very important movie. But she's killing this role. She's Mayor, of course, and she is basically. I don't want to tell too much of the show, but I know you all want to know some information. So she's Mayor Sheehan, and basically her life is crumbling around her. She's a small town Pennsylvania detective, and she's investigating a local murder that happened in the area. I can say that much. And she basically, got some family issues. And she's also following this local murder. And while she's getting into that murder, some other shit is coming out that she's looking like, what the fuck? And on episode 2, like everything falls. I'm like, okay, the first episode was like a good pilot. Okay, it was a great pilot actually. And okay, it lays things out a certain way. Like she's looking like a loser. Her ex-husband's getting remarried and he's doing his thing. Her daughter hates her. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that on the rest of the show. But it's just you come in thinking one thing, and then by the second episode, you're like, hold up. Like a Nate Dogg, RIP Nate Dogg. It's like a hold up, from the next episode where he does that. Please tell me you know that. Okay, y'all know that. Y'all black. But I just was like, whoop. Like the last, like, I want to say 30 seconds, I'm sitting here looking like, and see, I hate when shows do that. Show can be even paced for like the whole 49 minutes or whatever, and then they'll wait the last 2 minutes and everything you need to see, know, and hear about falls there. I tried one time where I was watching a show that I couldn't finish, so I ain't gonna take the show, and I would skip the last 5 minutes each show, and it would give me everything I need to get to before I watch the finale in full. Ain't that some bullshit? And not watch the recap. Some shows are like that, where you don't even have to watch it, like study it, because it just drags. But this show is not that kind of show. You really, they left, like when I went back and watched it, I had to watch it again because they left breadcrumbs. They hinted at some shit, and then when I got to the end, I was like, oh, like this is not the kind of show you can like do emails and then be like, why you like? I could do some stuff. No shade, but there's some shows you can like literally do some emails and some other stuff while watching on the side, like some of the Law and Order shows. But listen, Mr. Johnson loves him some Law and Order. He religiously watches Law and Order. I watch it. Sometimes I might pick an episode and we want to watch it together, but he's into that. I miss the original Law and Order, not the Special Victims, all that stuff. I think my show used to be Criminal Intent. I used to like that one, even though he thought that was corny. But I like the original one with Antonio or Anthony, whoever's in it, who played the detective in them. I liked Criminal Intent. I found Criminal Intent to be interesting. I remember when they had Billy Porter on as a pedophile, and I was like, come on. Well, I think he was hinted as a pedophile. And I'll never forget the one with Benjamin Bratt and Julia Roberts, who dated. They were such a cute couple. But, she's doing her thing with Danny, so I ain't gonna shit on that. But when she was with Benjamin Bratt and they was in that episode together, okay, this is a little old school for some of y'all, but I love that episode. And I love that chemistry they had together. And I love when she went to the Oscars and she won Best Actress, 20 years ago. Good God. And she was in that vintage Valentino dress. And he was like her date. And they were cute. See, Jennifer Roberts, she's always fly. But she was... Listen, Erin Brockovich, I know people talk about Erin Brockovich, but I love that film. That was one of my favorite films. Still one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my top 10. Like, there's movies that I call my pick-me-up movies. Like, Aaron Brockovich is a pick-me-up movie. Like, every time I watch that, it just makes me feel good. Milk, the Harvey Weinstein, not Harvey Weinstein, oh God, Harvey Milk biopic that starred Sean Penn, who played Harvey Milk. Such another, like, boost my morale. Election with Reese Witherspoon. Do not know why. Don't know why. But it's just the pettiness of it. And I think the reason why is because I ran for class president and election, okay, it was not like that, but just the energy around Tracy Flick. I'm going to put myself, I was Tracy Flick when I was in high school. Yep, I was Tracy Flick. Like my own, like a black, I was very much black, but like Tracy Flick was definitely me in high school. Looking back now, I was definitely Tracy Flick. But, you know, if you really watch Tracy, listen, Election, like really go watch this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a classic. Alexander Payne directed it. But Tracy, like Reese Witherspoon, you know, she did get, I think, some nominations. It's a very, you know, you can sleep on that film and just think it's about a bratty little girl. But, you know, it really was some depth. And I think the time in which it came out, pretty much Tracy Flick, if you watch it in a post-Me Too, post-Hillary Clinton era, it is a very different energy. I just say some movies age differently and mean different things. Definitely watched it like last year and was like, oh my goodness, this was pretty fucking good. But then there's movies like American Beauty that people say just have aged badly, for various reasons, including Kevin Spacey. Good God. But that was one of my favorite movies growing up, American Beauty, but not as much anymore. So the other show that I watch, because y'all know I love trashy reality TV, and everyone's been asking me, what are you watching? Outside of watching, you know, compilation videos of Love and Hip Hop, which I still watch religiously. I love them on YouTube. I hope they're still making them. But Couples Retreat. This show, okay, has these couples for reality shows. It's, what's his name on there? It's Kirk and Rashida Frost from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's Ray J and Princess, which they're getting a divorce. And quite frankly, I think they need to get divorced. It's also one of the exonerated five, which was a part of, you know, originally the Central Park Five. One of the men is dating Delicious, who was on Flavor of Love. He's now on the show with her on this couples retreat. One of those comedians is on the show. And then Yandy and her boo, which is a lot. But it's interesting. So this is season 1. It's interesting because, like, basically there's this whole couples, like, so Yandy and Mendices are on the show, Rashida and Kirk, Michael Blackston, that comedian, and his girlfriend Rada, Delicious and Raymond. So Raymond is the one who was a part of the Central Park Five, the exonerated five is what people should actually start calling them. And then Ray J and Princess. So it's 5 couples. And basically, they're going through the motions, y'all. They're going through all this boot camp and trying to get their marriage together, trying to get their life together. It's a lot. It was a lot to watch. It's entertaining, but then it's like, ooh, it's a lot of drama because, you know, Kirk and Rashida. Kirk got another woman pregnant while him and Rashida has been married. Ray J and Princess just have a very volatile relationship. Yandy and Mendices, like Yandy, you know, Mendices went to prison in the middle of their relationship. They don't really have a real marriage, but they claim they're married, but you know how that goes. Delicious and Raymond, I mean, I think Raymond is adjusting to life out of incarceration and the attention he's been getting. And Delicious, you know, it's a reality show. So I guess they're trying to get their relationship together. Michael Blackston is just a straight up cheater. And they're in a polyamorous relationship or, I guess this polyamorous, it's kind of like they have that agreement, but then it seems like he likes to also step out and do his own thing. So he's cheating. But they all got their own issues. And it looks like Ray J and Princess are basically about to divorce. But they're trying to patch it up, but it ain't looking too good. Love it. Watch the show. It's an escape. Like I tell you, reality show for me it's not really about trying to, like, sometimes I just need to just see other people's drama, even though I know it's made up. And it just, you know, it's fun. What else have I been getting into? So I want to say this before I get into this silliest moment of the week. There's been a lot of people hitting me up because there's been this DA's race, the district attorney's race, and It's messy on so many different fronts. The tea is hot. A lot of people have opinions and questions. A lot of people ask me about my thoughts about certain races and certain people running in certain seats, and what I think about this, what I think about that. A lot of things being said. So let me explain this, and this is to white people specifically, because I haven't had no black folks, because they follow me, they know. But some of the new white folks that follow my page are just trying to understand what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. So Carlos Vega is a man he was a former assistant DA who got fired from Krasner. His track record is atrocious in some ways. Many people have criticized him for basically giving sentences to innocent black and brown people, long sentences, and it looks like he was working with people who were doing shady things. There's a lot of stuff written about him. I don't really read up on him. I haven't really gotten into his entire record because I don't have an investment. I don't have an interest. Krasner has his issues. Of course, his affiliation with Sean King, which, Sean King is the man who has targeted me, has doxed me on social media, has been accused of grifting by several different people, and there's tons of articles, and it's true. He has had accusations of grifting. So I wrote a piece an op-ed a couple of weeks ago, actually, and I think some of y'all remember it, and was just talking about why is Krasner affiliating himself with Sean King? Like, why is he associating himself with this guy? He's getting a lot of national attention, getting a national spotlight. Why are you doing this with Sean King? Because Krasner has his flaws, but I just feel like part of Krasner's problem has been that he wants to affiliate himself and align himself with some people that isn't necessarily making him look good. It's just a turnoff. And so, Carlos Vega, who's running, shared my article because Sean King was coming at him on social media. And I'm just like, Sean, first of all, everybody in this situation is problematic in their own ways, got their own issues. Sean is why are you in Philly shit, Sean King? Stay your ass where you at. Go back to the boat you stay in, okay? Fuck you and your crew. Like, go where you go. Because this is not what you want over here in Philadelphia. The folks of Philadelphia, the organizers, the activists, the community people in this city do not need your shenanigans and your shit. People know what your shit was in Ferguson and know what your shit is in other parts. You are bad news to people who are serious about this movement work. Black Lives Matter don't really fuck with you. A lot of these other people don't fuck with you. Like, go away. Go away, Sean King. Like, everything from the question of your race, racial identity, on his birth certificate, he's identified as a white man. He's white on his birth certificate. He's got his own stories, but a lot of his stories that he puts out has been challenged and questioned by a lot of people that I know and I respect. And he's always acting like it's his right-wing people, but it is not. There's a lot of respected black activists and community organizers raise issues with him. And I have issues with him. There are things that I have seen him do that has been completely, disrespectful. When Chadwick Boseman died, right? This man invoked Chadwick Boseman trying to sell one of his stupid-ass books. There are groups that has questioned, him taking strategy and ideas from black women and organizing, creating movement groups and social groups and circles and things, and then quickly dismantling them and dismissing them or dropping the ball and losing things, raising money for projects that never saw the light or didn't see its full fruition. The shit, did y'all get all the shit y'all were promised when the North Star dropped? Remember when he asked all these celebrities and Susan Sarandon and all these people to give money to the North Star and got these white neoliberals and these wannabe woke folks to give money to him, these progressives, and they came shaming the rest of us and the Bernie bros who support his ass because he's a big old Bernie supporter? Like, maybe that's why Bernie lost, because of people like him getting all in the mix. But he has done this for years. He's profited and has made money off of sharing viral videos and putting out all of these toxic, traumatic ass images of Black death. He's profited off of it. This man literally is an ambulance chaser. And people like me who have called him out, who have questioned his ethics, have been doxxed, have been, targeted by him, have been put out to his millions of followers and have gotten threats and have gotten all kind of crazy shit to us. He has come after young black women, queer black people. He specifically always finds himself coming for black queer people. He is a piece of shit. And the fact that Krasner has not done the due diligence to research him, to look him up, or he just doesn't give a fuck, to me is problematic. So I don't care about any of these people enough. I'm not endorsing any DA. I'm not. I'm going to the polls. I've actually already voted, actually. But I'm not going to endorse anybody. I'm not dumb. I know in my mind who is the lesser of evils in this situation, but I'm not going to disclose or promote either of them, because at the end of the day, whoever gets elected to that seat, I'm still going to keep that same energy and holding them accountable and making sure they do what needs to be fucking done. But what I will say is I don't appreciate the racialized assumptions from both of these campaigns about what people like me should be fucking doing and how I should be voting. I'm a black gay man and I don't owe any of these campaigns my fucking vote. And neither do any of you all. If you choose not to vote for DA in this election in Philadelphia, I don't blame you. Because there is just the issue is, the candidates themselves have issues, but I get annoyed with their supporters. I think both parties' supporters are just sometimes some of the worst fucking people. You know how they say there's good men on both sides? There's bad people on both sides, to be honest. You got police supporters, these union groups that's out here assuming that folks are, going to vote one way or the other. It's like, you don't know what I feel. You don't know why I choose to vote the way I do, or how I feel about police, or why I feel the way I feel about police. But taunting black voters or young black activists or anything like that isn't the way either, right? But then you got the Krasner supporters, these white progressives who want to tell black people what's the right thing or whatever. Keep that same energy for your fucking family members. Keep that same energy for the people that you don't talk to at your corporate America jobs or your nonprofits when you're in racist environments. Tell that to yourself. Keep that same energy for your fucking self. But just going around, telling people messaging me. So what happened was that Vega shared the article that I wrote and was like the excellent Ernest Owens and said all these positive things about me, but also was referencing some of the concerns I had for Sean King. Now, while those things were accurate, let me be very clear. I have made it very clear to both of these candidates or their teams that I am not endorsing either one of them. I'm not endorsing either candidate. And the fact that, Vega decided to do that, clearly Vega is looking for legitimacy for other issues. That's how politics work. I'm not going to not tell the truth about the experience because somebody might take it and spin it. Because what that reveals is that there's flaws in both cases. This always happens, right? When Joe Biden was running for president, there were a lot of black activists and community members that was holding Biden's feet to the fire. Trump was using some of that information and trying to say, the blacks don't support you, Biden. What about your law record? People got mad at black people and said, you should not say anything about Biden. Don't criticize Biden. I don't give a fuck about any of these political candidates. I don't. Because all of them, when it comes to black people, have not been serving us, including the black people who get elected to the seats. This two-party system, this very institutionalized system does not liberate black people, period. The Democratic Party fucks black people over. The Republican Party fucks black people over. The third party needs to figure out what they're trying to do. But there's a lot of these people on both of these issues that do not do well by us. As much as I can criticize Bush, I can criticize Clinton. That's just there's no team for one. You can say lesser evils all day. And while there is some validity to some of that, at the end of the day, don't ever criticize marginalized people's indecisiveness on how they feel about any of these political candidates, because they don't serve us first. They don't treat us as a primary voter. We're always expected to fall in line. You think Krasner really gives a fuck about the black vote in Philadelphia? No, he's been good to our people. You think Vega, and or his supporters, right, really are counting on the black vote to steer his win? No, because they've already made presumptions about us. And that's not to say that Vargas may or may not personally. I don't know him personally. I just feel like at the end of the day, what's so annoying is just the fact that in these types of races, black people are always treated like the prized thingy that people feel like they can talk at and talk down to, or move one way or move another. And so where I stand on the situation is, look, my article is being read by thousands of people. If you're a supporter of Krasner and you're gun-ho about Krasner, rather than try to berate me about what I said about Shaun King, you should be talking to Krasner about Shaun King. You should be telling Krasner, Shaun, back off, bro. Fall off. Because you're turning people away from me. You're muddying the waters. It's not to say that I will tell you there are people I know who are going to vote for Krasner. And I'm not disclosing who I'm voting for. But, I would just say hypothetically, there may be people that will still probably vote for Krasner, or did vote for Krasner. But they're not going to go out and publicize him or brag about him because of the fact that he has made it so difficult for a lot of people in this town who want to see the change, don't trust in his ability to do the damn job. If he focused on victims more, if he focused more on some of the legitimate complaints from the activists about Mia and some of these other issues that's happening, if you just took people's calls, if you just gave people answers, more transparency, and not had this matter of fact or this bullhorn stubbornness or this really, stubborn assholeness about yourself, it would be easier for people to vocalize their support. I know people the last election cycle who chewed me up when I did not support him the last time. I didn't. I supported Richard Negrin. And listen, I have different thoughts about policing. I have different thoughts about, well, that wasn't police, but, what a DA should be and what they should be. My views have evolved through time, but at that time, I thought that way because I did not trust Krasner. I did not trust Krasner. And, I have evolved in my thinking because as a black person, I have a right to change my thoughts about things. Because all of these white people that have something to say, you didn't wake up woke, and you're still not woke. And you didn't wake up conscious. So you don't have a right to sit up and pass judgment about black people on their navigation, their understanding of the systems that you all have allowed and perpetuated for centuries onto us. You don't get to raise a nose flag. I don't care what you think about any black person. It's some of these white people like, oh my goodness, I can't stand Candace Owens. Great. I can't stand her either. But guess what? I don't care what you think. I don't. I really don't care. Because the alliances with black people cannot only come when it comes to black people being useful for you and your political agendas in your moments. It can't only be this idea that, oh, so this black person like Bernie, so that's the black person I like. This person don't like Bernie, so I don't like this black person. I had people did to me when I was not too fond of Bernie in 2016. Liked him definitely more in 2020. In spite of Shaun King. Shaun. I was more in favor of Bernie last year than I was prior. But I remember people coming to me telling me, you're going against your own community. You're going against your own race and talking to me crazy and calling me all kind of names. And I'm just like, and you all are a fucking part of the problem. I can't. So no, I just wanted to say that. I just want to say that I did see that tweet. I did see him shout me out. I ain't retweeting that. I ain't liking that. Like, look, it is what it is. Thanks for the views. Hopefully, Krasner looks at that and thinks about where he needs to do. Because now we're less than a month away from the election. Okay? Election is coming up fast, y'all. I mean, I've already voted. I voted by mail because I still don't feel comfortable going to the polls, like in person. And I also don't want to deal with those long lines and the flyering. Okay, May 18th, Tuesday, May 18th is election day. So, be smart, y'all. Okay, be smart. So wrapping this up, I came across a really interesting question, and it just became a big talk around town. And I gotta this is gonna be a running joke, but there's that song by Neil Diamond called "Sweet Caroline." Um, go "Sweet Caroline," bum bum bum. White people's favorite song, or one of their top favorite 5 songs. And I was joking because I said to myself, I don't know how I got started on this, but um, my friends and I were talking about the playlist for the wedding and for the wedding shower. And we were talking about like, what are the old school hits that we like to play at cookouts and gatherings of family nature. So of course we're gonna have "Before I Let Go." Of course, Frankie Mays featuring Frankie Beverly. Of course we're gonna have that. We gotta have some Isley Brothers. I love them. We gotta have, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, we gotta have the hits. We gotta have, September, Let's Groove Tonight. Um, we gotta have cameo with Candy. Okay, Electric Slide, Cha Cha Slide. Okay, Wobble. Wobble was like an iconic classic. California Love. You gotta have all the hits. Okay. So we was talking about that and what the music was gonna sound like, and somebody said, "Oh, we need to don't forget Sweet Caroline being funny." And I said, "What? We got like a what face?" They're like, "Oh, that's the Before I Let Go the Caucasians love them some Sweet Caroline. That's like their Before I Let Go." And I was like, "It is?" So I asked it on Facebook, and it kind of took off locally, and everybody was in there commenting. But it was like, what are the equivalents for certain songs for white people? Like, what are their playlists? And someone said, well, like what turns them up at a wedding? What gets them, going crazy? And so we would say, what are those top white people songs? I mean, I was asking because, there's songs that when you play at a party, at a black party, you're going to get folks on the dance floor. There's just certain songs that do that, and they don't really make those many songs like that anymore, but what are those songs? And so there were just, there were some Caucasians that decided to participate in this and contribute their thoughts. And they said, well, wait a minute. Sweet Caroline is cool, but that's for the folks that live in Boston. Apparently Bostonians like it, or folks in, other places. They said, actually, it's "Living on a Prayer," okay, by Bon Jovi. And I was like, "Living on a Prayer," that is a hit. I do think "Living on a Prayer," I definitely have heard that. And I've definitely seen the Turn Up Get Real. But then somebody said, Don't Stop Believing it is the hit. Like, are you serious? Like, don't everybody know "Don't Stop Believing" is the hit. And I used to love me some by Journey. I do love me some "Don't Stop Believing." So then someone said, well, wait a minute, what's the turn up song? And someone said Cotton Eye Joe. And I said, oh yeah, Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you? I said that that is a hit. I have heard some of that. Then they said, well, what is the turn up song? The song where they just let loose and just really, go wild, like "Nuck If You Buck" or something. And someone said "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana. So I don't know. I was just getting getting an enlightenment education. Now I've heard all of these songs because I am a music buff, but it was just interesting to see how these songs show up and give them that energy. So people like Leonard Skinner, "Free Bird." That was something someone said. YMCA, "Back in Black." These are some hits, y'all. Is these the white cookout hits? Someone said "Teenage Wasteland." Who got them Beach Boys? It was a lot of shade. I wouldn't say shade, but it was a lot of education going on. I was very much so enlightened. So I am definitely going to be listening to some of these songs, and I'm trying to figure out what the equivalents would they be to certain songs. Like, I'm going back and listening to the playlist the black, playlist for, our jams. And I'm going to like put songs side by side, like sounds like this to, but like, help me out. Let me know if I'm missing some of the big hits, that white people like to listen to. All humor, of course, but I'm just always, curious to know because education is important. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, be safe, be smart, be gifted, be woke, stay woke, and just be great as always. So, yeah, that's everything. I mean, this is Next month will be May Day. And, until then, wash those hands and wash your mouth. Okay? Because I hear that there are people out here about to go outside maskless, and I'm going to keep a mask on because sometimes you all forget to wear mouthwash, and nobody got time for that. So until then, be well and be best. Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.